Recently, I've been taking a little break from gaming. I've been taking time to enjoy touching grass a lot more and just exploring hobbies that aren't all digital. And I was discussing this with my chat on stream a couple days ago and figured I would record the conversation and share it with you all. Maybe some of you have been going through something similar, just enjoying touching grass more than playing games, or just being a little burnt out from your main game. So I figured I would share the conversation. Maybe we could talk in the comments and stuff like that. Feel free to let me know if you enjoy this type of content, and maybe I'll show more rants from stream, but I'll let you guys listen to the conversation. Because it always starts off the same way, right? What's it called? I use Sparking Zero or Marvel Rivals for this example, where it's like, okay, game gets released. Everybody's super hype, you know? Remember what that hype felt like when Sparking Zero got announced. Everybody's like, oh, I'm gonna be so cold at this game. Like, I'm really gonna be a problem. Y'all better watch out. Like, it's you know, I'm serving hands. Like, y'all is not gonna be easy. Y'all gonna get y'all whooped, you know? Like, a lot of people were like that when Sparking Zero first came out. Then the game comes out, right? People are getting their clips, people are having their fun, day one, week one, whatever, right? Having a blast, getting their clips. Oh, I'm like that, I told y'all not getting easy wins off for me, you know, all of that. And then it's like, okay, and then people learn the game. I'm not gonna say the honeymoon phase completely wears off, because people are still playing it, but people are learning the counterplay, right? People are taking the time to learn the game mechanics, to kind of come up with a team, to really, like, I guess, either take the game seriously or like put more effort into playing. And it's like that's what, I guess, this is kind of like the make or break. I'd call it the breaking point, where it's like, you know, everybody's enjoying the game when everybody thinks that they're the coldest in the world. Then you fight somebody that's like actually on par with you, and suddenly it's not fun no more. Suddenly it's all, everybody's a sweat and this, that, and but it's like, technically you were one, you know, like you were part of the, you know, I'm gonna be like that, I'm gonna be one of the best of the best. And it's like, now that you actually like have competition, you won out. What happened to the, oh, I'm like that, oh, I'm the best, like I'm gonna be a pro? Suddenly you start fighting other people who were willing to put that same level of effort into the game, and now you won out. Now suddenly the game's not fun anymore. I'm not saying you gotta like try super hard, but it's like, okay, you said you were still enjoying the game. There was still some level of passion present. Now you not f***ing with it. And it's like, right, that's part of the reason, because it's like, you know, for content creation, everybody thinks that, okay, if you want to make it in gaming, you have to be the best player in the game. And it's like, sometimes that's not the case. But, you know, yes, content creation can be a part of that. I can tell you, with me playing Tekken, it feels like that, where it's like, okay, I mean, I noticed it a lot more in Apex, but I guess with Tekken, I'm still kind of doing it, where it was like, okay, if I had ideas about the game, if I was theory crafting or whatever, it's like, okay, some people are just liable to not listen to what I have to say because they're like, oh, you're not a pro player, or you're still, you know, whatever rank, you're not diamond master, you're not top 500 in the game. Why should we listen to you? You know? And I kind of came into Tekken with the concept of like, it was just going to be like that by default. But, you know, I started learning like, okay, people weren't really making content on fighting games like heavy until the pandemic. Like, obviously you still had your like Maximilian dudes, and you had the couple of people that were just committed to making the content that weren't professional players. But it's like, you know, I've heard the stories about like some of these commentators or some of the main content creators at the time were trying to like encourage the pro players to like make content, because what happens if y'all can't compete anymore? You just fall off the face of the earth. Like, what happens? But, you know, content creation does play into that, where it's like, right, everybody, I'm not gonna say everybody, but a decent amount of people have that feeling of like, maybe people won't watch my content or take my content seriously if I'm being educational, if I don't have some resume or some level of credential to back up what I'm talking about. It's not like they just won't listen entirely, but some content creators feel like if I'm not the best in the game, people aren't inclined to listen to me, or they're not going to take me seriously, I guess. But back to the Spark and Zero analogy, it's like, right, everybody thinks they're going to be the coldest until there are people that are actually spending the time, quote unquote, no lifing the game, and suddenly it's like nobody wants to bother with it anymore. And it's like, is that the fault of the developers that, we all decided that, all of us were collectively going to just be the best players in the game, and competition just doesn't work like that? Is it fair to say that gaming is dead because, content creation or that desire to take everything seriously is there? It sucks because, like, it's a mass of people doing something for fun, meeting a mass of people trying to make a job out of it. Right. And it's like, right. Do we start playing the blame game? It's the player's fault for seeing all these content creators making a bunch of money, getting ad revenue or getting sponsored to play the game. So everybody thinks that, I have to be super cold, or I have to, this has to be the game that makes my career or something like that. Do we blame the players for that? Do we blame the devs for like not taking that into account? The fact that, content creators are going to be trying to play this game heavy, so we need to make sure that, we're on it. Because, I mean, there have been a bunch of games in the past that, like, specifically cater to that. People thought the finals was like that. People thought Hyperscape was like that. I feel like, especially Hyperscape, because, like, wasn't that one of the first games that, like, was super heavy on trying to push, like, that Twitch drop or, like, that Twitch integration? Where, like, if people would type stuff in the chat, that could help, like, dictate the pace of the game or something like that. So it's like, right, do we just start trying to place blame on every single part of the community because, we're, in a sense, sucking the fun out of the game? Right. People treating Helldivers like it's 2K, where it's like, okay, now everybody, if you don't have the meta kit in a PvE game, we're not letting you play with us? Like, what type of elitism is this? This is a PvE game. This isn't even like, this ain't Gears of War, where it's like, okay, like there's something on the line. This is actually a competitive game. Like, the multiplayer is competitive. It's like, right, this is a PvE game that you're supposed to be playing with friends, and now, God forbid, you decide to try and solo queue and just play with other random Helldivers. Now they're behind you checking your stats like it's the 2K park, being like, you using this gun instead of this? Can't be on our squad, bro. Find somebody else to play with. You know what I'm saying? Like, where do we go from there? What do we do? Do we just accept it, gaming is dead because everybody thinks that, content creation is the wave and the only way to do it is just be the best player in the game. And now we just have sweats and try hard. And I'm speaking from personal experience as well, because I mean, y'all know that I'm like that in terms of wanting to get better at the game and wanting to improve and stuff like that. And we've seen those jokes too about it being like, the people who don't have no other job, it's like they're just playing the game for 12 hours a day, or like, they are just a streamer full time, so they can afford to just play this one game for 16 hours a day, no problem. Or, the esports scene is getting overrun by, teenagers and young adults that just have all the time in the world after school to just play for 6 hours, no problem. They just have these options. It's a million factors as to why people may feel like, games are dying, or, suddenly the game isn't that fun. Which is why I was going to say, I feel like people just need to be okay with just, for some games, just having I was going to call it an arsenal of games to play, where it's like, okay, every single game you play doesn't have to be a multiplayer game. Like, I took time to go play Elden Ring. I was taking time to go play, what else was it? I was playing Monster Hunter. Like, it's okay to play those games and not be like super meta intense, behind it. You can just play the game for the sake of playing it. There's no hidden agenda behind the game, I guess. So that's why I'm like, obviously I'm playing my Tekken, I'm playing my 2XKO, maybe a random shooter just for myself. Like my feeling of self-improvement, right? Getting that feeling of self-improvement out of a game. But I still have the other games that I can play when it's just like, okay, I don't feel like trying. I want to turn my brain off. It's not going to be a multiplayer game because there's going to be some level of thought behind those games, behind a battle royale game, behind a game like Deadlock, a fighting game. Like, that's not the game that I'm playing with the intent of turning my brain off. Elden Ring is kind of, that's a per person thing. Some people, that game is going to take an insane amount of brain power to figure out the pattern recognition and all of that type of stuff. But, that's why I was like, if you really wanted to break it down into like 3 categories, it would be the game you're playing for self-improvement, which for me is my Tekken, my 2XKO. 2XKO can kind of go into the second category, which is like the game you're playing with your friends. If all of y'all are playing it competitively, if y'all are just playing pubs, whatever, it's a game that you have reserved for like, I'm playing with my friends, and that's the intended purpose of this game. So I guess like Monster Hunter would kind of go between the second and third category, which is I'm either playing it with my friends or I'm playing it because I personally just enjoy this game. Regardless of whether I'm playing it with somebody or by myself, this game is not mentally taxing for me to be like, damn, I can't even enjoy this. No, I can turn my brain off if I want to. If I have friends that also own the game, sure, yes, we can run it. But to me, those are the 3 categories that I have if it came down to like having a list of games to play. You have the game that you want to play because you're like, I want to get better at it. I really think I could like be nice at this game. A game I'm playing with my friends, regardless of whether we play it competitively or for fun, it's just there for that reason. And I only plan on playing it if I'm playing with other people. And then it's the game that I might have for myself, like a guilty pleasure game that's like, I'm just playing this for me. The last game that I think I might have played that was like that was Ghost Runner, where it's like, right, it's a PvE game. I'm just going through levels. I'm having a blast. The movement was great. It was fun to play. Games like that, like Celeste, maybe Cuphead, some of those, that's where the single player games, I guess, would fit in. Where it's like, right, there's no agenda. You don't have to try super hard if you don't want to, because it's just you.